Hi everybody, welcome to Stampin' Peace with Mary Knabe. I hope you're having a good week and that your weekend is even better. It's been a really crazy busy week here in the Stampin' Peace studio, so I'm looking forward to the weekend. I have a guest here today, Tracy Dolling, and then we have two more friends coming this evening, Joyce Whitman and Kathy Daw, and we're going to craft and maybe watch movies, maybe sit outside by the fire pit. I don't know, but I'm sure there will be lots of talking and catching up and laughing and some crafting also. So it'll be a fun weekend. Couple of reminders before we start today's Fun Fold Friday project. Once again, reminding you that my Bewitching Class to Go is open for registration right now through Tuesday. Tuesday, the August 23rd is your last day to register for that class. You're going to make some really fun Halloween cards featuring that Bewitching bundle. Oh, and there's the last one, a slimline card. And there's something for everybody. The option 1 includes the bundle. Option 2 is the card supplies without the bundle. And option 3 is a $15 PDF tutorial only. And for those of you that want to join my team and be a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, you would get that PDF tutorial and all of my Class to Go PDF tutorials free as a perk for joining Stampin' Up! With me. My second announcement, you may have read the email that went out yesterday, late afternoon, early evening, or seen it on my blog yesterday or today, or on my Facebook. But yesterday was 14 years of being a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. So I didn't do any kind of big celebration here. I just was pretty much working all day and all week long, putting in some long hours. My daughter Andrea was here yesterday doing some work for me as well. But it was fun to just, I guess I had it in the back of my mind all day yesterday as I was working so hard and Andrea was helping me. And just recalling memories, why I signed up, the friends I've made since then. In fact, all my guests this weekend are friends I've made through my Stampin' Up! Journey. And my first convention, getting my first online order, all those kinds of things, big and small. Just fun to kind of reminisce and look back on some of that. But I do have, as a thank you to all my supporters, I do have an ordering special going on from the 18th through the 21st in celebration of my 14-year anniversary with Stampin' Up! And I'll just go through it really quickly, but it went out in an email and it's also on my blog, stampinpeace.com. But I'm giving away some Stampin' Up! Surprises. These are retired embellishments, ribbons, a whole assortment of different things, as well as handmade cards. So with a $50, and this is in addition to your celebration freebies that you may earn or any Stampin' rewards you may earn for your Stampin' Up! Order that you would normally get. But I am giving away a Stampin' Up! Surprise and one handmade card with a $50 order. I'm giving away 3 Stampin' Up! Gifts and 3 handmade cards with a $75 order, 5 of each of those for a $100 order. And if you place a $150 order, you get 14 Stampin' Up! Gifts and 14 handmade cards. And of course, if you're thinking of spending $150, I'm going to suggest that you would join my team and get an even better deal, okay? Because you get more for your money when you purchase the starter kit. $125 of product for $99 plus tax, and it all ships free. So you come out way ahead with that. But I'm excited to give away lots and lots of Stampin' Up! Goodies and some handmade cards. So please take a look at stampinpeace.com for that information, or check your newsletter, email newsletter that went out yesterday or today. And now I'm ready to flip my camera around so we can make our Fun Fold Friday card. While I'm changing my camera, would you please share this live video and invite others to join us this afternoon? Okay, I want to start by showing you this card featuring the He's the Man suite. This is something that I received in a demonstrator swap from Renee Conkey. Just another one of those amazing people I've met on my Stampin' Up! Journey. And I'm excited to see her next week at the backstage event for leaders in New Orleans. But you can take a look here, kind of a little version on a double Z fold card and kind of a version of the easel card. So I'm not really sure. Again, I got it in a swap, so I don't know what she called this fun fold. It could also be called the double easel card. I don't know. But it's really fun. It's really easy. It does fit in our standard size envelope, and it still has nice space for writing inside. And then of course it stands up. This is what it looks like from the side angle if it were standing up on a shelf or table. So I'm featuring the Splendid Day Designer Series paper. I'm just going to pull some of this out so you can see it. One side, oops, gotta get that one in. One side of the DSP is metallic, and you can see it's metallic with all these fun colors. And then if you flip it over, there's a coordinating print on the back side. So lots of possibilities, lots of fun using this Splendid Day Designer Series paper. And then the coordinating bundle is Splendid Thoughts. It's got a great stamp set. I love the sentiments in here. You know I'm big into my sentiments. And a nice collection of coordinating and enhancing dies. So we'll be using that a little bit today as well. So, and I'll make two cards with you. To begin, you're going to need 2 pieces of cardstock, and you can choose, I'm using the same Designer Series paper, but the 2 different sides of it. So my coordinating color is Fresh Freesia. So you'll need a piece that measures 5.5 by 8 inches for your base, 5.5 by 8, not 8.5 like we normally do, 5.5 by 8 inches. And then we're going to score that at 1 inch, 2 inches, and 5 inches. Oh, I forgot to do one thing. Since we're doing a Z fold, folding some in reverse, what I typically would do is score the first line, flip my cardstock. Does anybody remember why we flip the cardstock on those Z fold cards? Does anybody remember why? I'm sure somebody does. Oh, Gwen, you just ordered this bundle? Awesome. How's that for good timing? All right, the reason we do that is because there is a right no wrong way to fold on your score lines. So you can see on my 1-inch and my 5-inch score lines, there's a little indentation, all right? The other one has a bump because I scored it on the other side. And Melinda, you're correct. So it folds better. So where that little valley is, where that indentation is, that is going to become the mountain. The valley becomes the mountain. Okay. And then you'll do the same thing at that 1-inch score line. And then of course the 2-inch score line is folded the opposite direction. And that's why I like to flip my cardstock. All right. Yes, they crease different ways. Exactly. You also need a piece of matching cardstock. I guess it could be something different, a different color if you wanted it to be. But this measures 6 inches by 3 inches. And you're going to score at 4 1/4 on that long side, 4 1/4. And of course, you want to use your bone folder to give nice creases to all these score lines. Then you're going to have a piece of basic white cardstock or some sort of neutral for the inside of your card. And I'm not going to put mine on just yet because I might stamp on the inside. But this measures 5 1/4 inches by 2 3/4 inches. Then you're going to have a piece of designer series paper that measures 5 1/4 inches by 2 3/4 inches again. And then a strip that measures 5 1/4 by 3 1/4 inches. And these are going to go on the front facing sections of the Z fold base, card base. And the 2 prints I'm using for this card just happen to be the 2 different sides of the same piece of DSP. But you can mix and match with other DSPs if you like. You can even mix and match with the cardstock as well. Now this piece, I'm going to use the shiny side here, and this measures 4 inches by 2 3/4. 4 inches by 2 3/4. So Michelle, you're on the road going back home from Biloxi to Naples. Safe travels. Safe travels. Thanks to all of you who have shared this live video. I appreciate it so much, and I appreciate your presence today. It's always fun to have lots of followers on. Now I'm going to attach this to my card base, but we're going to do it in 2 different steps, okay? I'm going to attach the bottom of this first, and then we're going to close it, and I'll attach the top. So on the bottom back side of the large part of this piece of cardstock, you're going to put your adhesive, and then you just want to match up that bottom with the bottom of the larger card base. All right, so this is what I have so far. Okay. Now to get this in just the right position, you're going to close up the whole Z-fold card base. Okay, close it up completely. And then put some adhesive on the back bottom side of that small flap, and then just fold it over to catch on the main card base. And then you have that. All right. Now, before we add a sentiment or embellishment, let's make a second one. They're going to be basically the same, except I'm going to reverse the DSP for these. So where I used shiny before, I'll use the regular side DSP and vice versa. So again, the base measures 5.5 inches by 8 inches, 5.5 by 8. And on the long side, I'm going to score at 1 inch, flip it over, score at 2 inches, flip it, and score at 5 inches. And we flip our cardstock because we're going to be folding those score lines in different directions. And then have another piece of cardstock that measures 3 inches by 6 inches. And you want to score this at 4.25 inches. All right. So that's all of our scoring. Be sure you go over all those score lines with your bone folder. Give them some good creases. And then we're ready to add our designer series paper. So again, I'm just reversing which side I'm using on this second card. These pieces measure 5.25 by 2.75 inches. And then 5.25 by 3/4 inch. This is so super shiny with my big craft light or task light in front of me here. It's super bright. I'll just say I'm getting a glare and shining right into my eyes at certain times. All right, so that's what I have so far. And then again, I'm using the opposite side for the front facing panel on the second card. I'm sure this paper looks pretty on the video, but to see it in person, it's really gorgeous. I love it. And I love that we have several different colors in each of the sheets. So I've added adhesive to the bottom of this small piece of cardstock. And I should say, you can put this anywhere you want. I have it off to the left. You could have it right in the center, or you can have it off to the right also. Okay, but I'm just going to go ahead and, well, let's put this one in the center. Why not, right? Change it up. But it's really just personal preference. How you choose to embellish your card with stamped images or sentiments may kind of dictate for you where you place that smaller cardstock piece. Again, just a little bit of adhesive on that one, and you want to be sure that your whole card base is closed completely, and then you just fold over that small flap. Okay, so now we have basically the same cards. We just reversed the designer series paper, and for the second one I changed the placement of the front facing panel. All right, so now let's add something more to these. Let's go back to that first one. And I think on this one, what am I gonna do? I'm gonna do some die cutting here. So I'm going to bring in my mini Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. And I'm going to die cut with this. some scraps of white. And you know that when we are die cutting, we're using plates 1, 2, and 2 for our die cutting. Now, there's some dies in this collection that match up perfectly with the stamped images, and there are other ones that just enhance or coordinate with the stamped images, but don't have a matching one. And that's what these two dies are that I'm using now. You can even use these negative pieces as little leaves or something if you want to. I'm going to go ahead and cut a second one of these. Barbara, I agree. When you add die cut images, it just adds a lot of nice dimension and detail to your cards. And then I'm also going to die cut this from Fresh Freesia. Hi there, Cookie. I'm glad you jumped on. You'll want to watch from the beginning later when you have time so you can get all the measurements and things for today's Fun Fold Friday card, but I am glad you're here. Okay, let me push this to the side. And we'll add these to, oh, we're going to do this one first, to our card front. And it might be easier to close this up completely if you're working. And I'm just going to add these like that with a touch of multi-purpose glue. Obviously, these lines are super thin. You could add some adhesive sheet to, or put cardstock on the adhesive sheet before you die cut them. But I'm just going to use a teeny tiny bit of this multi-purpose glue. And I'm not going to worry about gluing the entire image down, just some key points. Kind of hold it right there for a moment. Remember, a dot is a lot. This glue goes a long, long way. So use your multi-purpose glue very sparingly. You want to hold that down for a moment to dry. And then I'm going to add this little bit of Fresh Freesia right here on top. Now I'm going to finish it off with a little trim or bow. And this is the one I was thinking of. So let's see what you think of this. This is the glittered organdy ribbon. Or, where's my more solid white? Here's the one I was looking for. We can use the white seam binding. I think that's pretty too. Or we could do a fresh freesia bow. A whole lot of fresh freesia going on. Any thoughts? Do you like the glittered organdy ribbon, the white seam binding, or if I can get it opened, our fresh freesia open weave ribbon, which is really nice to work with also. Thoughts? Should we keep going tone on tone using this one? Or should we add some white? Oh, the glitter. You guys surprised me today. That is not what I thought you were going to pick. But I'm going to listen to you guys and do the glitter. Look, you're all jumping on with glitter. Okay, I pulled that out. That was not my first choice. It's hard to choose, isn't it, Gian? The white seam binding is nice too. Of course, you all know that we can also customize that white seam binding, make it any color we want by coloring it with our Stampin' blends. Okay, now I'm seeing a mix of all three. But yeah, you people who wanted glitter, you jumped on fast to say that. And that is not what I thought was going to be the first response. I thought the first responses would be fresh freesia. And that's why I like to ask, because sometimes I just am interested in knowing how you would do things. You know, I know you like seeing me make things, but I also like to see what other people would do or know what other people would do. Just going to add that right there. Now I could have put a little sentiment here or maybe a banner or something, but instead I'm going to put my sentiment for this card on the inside of my card base. It looks like I got a little something on there. I'm going to stamp with fresh freesia. Oh, that's not the right one. And here's the different, of course, you can mix and match your sentiments and stamp sets. You might want to pull something from another one. Let's see, sending hugs, let's celebrate, much love in your new life together. Today is a day to remember. I think I'm going to do sending hugs. And before I stamp it on my cardstock, I have a little scrap. I'm going to stamp it on my scrap first to practice stamping it straight. It's a little bit trickier with, oh, that's pretty good. A little bit trickier with the red rubber stamps instead of the photopolymer. And that's what I typically do when I'm stamping with the red rubber. I just practice on a piece of scrap paper first, because then I know if I think I'm putting it down straight based on the letters, because you have to remember, we don't always have our label matched up perfectly with the stamp side of the rubber, right? So doing this would tell me if I'm, if I think I'm stamping straight, but it looks like it's down a little bit on the right side, then I know I have to tilt it to the right side to make it straight when I stamp. Does that make sense? I think you get me, right? And then I'll just add this to the inside of my card. Oops, did I cut that correctly? Looks like it's a little bit long. Should be 5 1/4 inches. So let me double check before I do that. Oh, it is a little long. And since I already stamped on it, I'm going to take off a little from each side. There. Get it straight. Come on, Mary. Okay, that's better. I will be giving away these cards today, so hang on for a little bit so I can give you the words to comment. So there's our double easel card, double Z-fold easel card. Okay, Laura, the reason I put the washi tape on my clear blocks is just so that I can identify them if maybe if I have people over and we've all got our materials out, our supplies out. It's an easy way for me to identify what blocks I have, or if I take them to weekend events or take them to a Stampin' Up! Party. It's just a quick, easy way for me to identify and make sure that I get them back. All right, let's finish off the second card. Now, oh, that's not, it's this one. This one we have in the center. So what I was thinking is using one of these, and this might, no, that's not quite long enough. So I think I will just cut a piece of cardstock to this size. And use that on my front. It's probably too big. I'm trying to pull some scraps. Do you do that too? Use up your scraps? I hope so. Yes, perfect. All right, so I'm going to cut this about, I know this is, cardstock is 3 inches wide, and I want to make it just a little bit longer than that. So I think I'll go 4 inches to start. I can always trim that off if I decide it's longer than I want it when I see it on my card front. Oh, hi, Marcia. You are watching live for a change. Awesome. I'm glad you're here. Tony's already saying fresh freesia on this one. Okay. I assume you're talking about the second card. Oops, Laura just said the same thing, I think. Yes. Okay. All right, so I'm going to stamp this. You know, I'm going to trim this down. I think this too is a little wider than I need it to be. It's 1.5 inches. I think if I go down to 1 1/4, I will be good. And we can finish off these ends decoratively also. Again, I'm pulling a piece of scrap just to kind of test out. Stamping straight, pretty good. I probably need to go up on the right side just a tad. Nope, that was too much. Okay, come on, Mary. Okay, pretty good. I'm gonna give it one more try though. Just on the opposite side. Okay, pretty good. I think that one does it for me. And now we do have these banner punches, but they only go up to 1 inch wide. So what I want to do is put a decorative trim on each end, but I'm going to have to use a different punch. How about this new one? I like this one a lot for adding a little decorative edge. It could be that. We could also use, where is it here? This is known as the Decorative Circle Punch. This is new to our annual catalog, the Decorative Circle Punch. Yeah, I think this is the one I want to use. Make sure you're only putting in the one end. And when you're using this punch in this way, you want to pay attention to the spacing above and below that cardstock strip, okay? There, pretty good way to, different way. I want to go just a wee bit to use, a different way to use your punches. And you can really do this with any of your punches. There, that looks a little more even to me. But really, you can use any of your punches in this way. And, you know, I like showing you alternate ways to use your products. The more varied ways we know how to use our products, the more that we'll use them. And if we're investing in this craft, we might as well get the most for our money by using our products in as many ways as we can. Put that there just like that. And then I'm going to add some embellishments. You know, I've been using the insulated lunch sack that is in the Nourishing Flourishing kit. By the way, the Nourishing Flourishing kit is part of our Stampin' Up! Makes a Difference campaign, and we donate $3 of each kit sold to charities that deal with hunger issues. So that's always a good thing. I'm going to pull a few out. I was looking for a particular one that I used earlier today. See if I can find it. Here it is. Yes, that's the one. So we have our Iridescent Pearls. You've seen me use those many times. I love our Iridescent Rhinestones, always a favorite of mine because they do pick up the colors of your project. And then we have these new adhesive back sequins and gems. So there's 2 colors of sequins, and then there's these kind of unique gems. I haven't used those yet, and I'm not even quite sure how I want to use those. But for today, I'm going to go ahead and use the sequins for this card. Looks like my sequins kind of slid around a bit, and they're not all centered on their adhesive dot, but we'll make it work. Keep in mind that when you are adding embellishments, you want to add them in odd numbers. All right, so that's why I did 3. If I want 5, maybe I would put one here and here, but I think I'm just gonna leave the 3 right there. Or what do you think? Does it need 2 more? You tell me what you think. Okay, I just saw a question pop up. Laura Sullivan wanted to know, what are the cards like in that Nourish and Flourish kit. I think they're great cards, and I have them made up. I've got them in here. I was thinking about gifting this set to somebody I know. You always do 3? Okay, Lori. Jean says 2 more. But anyways, the Nourish and Flourish kit comes with that insulated lunch sack. And as you can see, you don't have to use it for a lunch bag. I'm using mine to hold embellishments. When I went to a craft weekend recently, I just put all my embellishments in there, zipped it up, and carried it out with my other things I was taking. But you get that, and then you're going to get supplies to make 9 cards, 3 each, of 3 different designs. Let me get these out of the way. Here's the 3rd design. And everything you see on here, this is a non-stamping kit, so it's a great gift for anybody. If you want to gift somebody a craft kit, this is an awesome one because they get the nice bag, they make great cards. All of the white card bases are embossed. There's 3 different embossing designs used on the card base. Everything else is stickers and die cuts. Okay, so it's really easy. Even the sentiments have been pre-printed. Everything you see is pre-printed and die cut for you. Now, if you want to change out the sentiments, I would say you just flip it over and you can stamp any sentiment you want, whether it be happy birthday, thinking of you, whatever. But just a really, really, really nice set. The cost of the kit is $39, including all of the card supplies, plus the lunch bag, and $3 of that goes to benefit charities dealing with our nation's hunger crisis, okay? And, you know, summer, kids are going back to school now, but that's something I think about a lot when school is not in session, that there are a lot of children who are going hungry. Maybe they get lunch and breakfast at their school, and when school's not in session, they don't have that. So it's a nice way for us to contribute to a good cause as well. And a lot of value in that. You're right. Fantastic value, Lori. I agree with you. Thank you so much. Okay, so there are the 2 finished cards. I will give both of these away. And if you would like to possibly be the recipient of one of these cards, please, in the comments now, type Splendid Day. Splendid Day. That's the name of the suite these products are from and the name of the designer series paper. Splendid Day. Yes, Linda, when this goes to my blog, it probably will not be till early next week. But when I post the photos, the supply list, everything, I will have dimensions on that blog post as well. I would say probably 99.9% of my Facebook Lives will go to my blog within a week. All right. You can always view replays of the videos here on Stampin' Peace with Mary Knabe, but the catch-all for everything, for all my promotions, for Stampin' Up! Promotions, for my classes to go, for the replays of my Facebook Lives, plus the details of the projects made in the Facebook Lives, are all on stampinpeace.com. All right. So it's a good place to go. If you've missed past Facebook Lives, you can always see the video here, but why not go to the blog, stampinpeace.com, and see the video, the photos, the supplies and links to all of the Stampin' Up! Products, the dimensions, everything, okay? So that's sort of like the catch-all. And then second would be my newsletter. All right, I don't put Facebook Live replays on my newsletter. but all the information, other information I put out goes on the newsletter as well. But think of it that way. And if you go to stampinpeace.com, you can subscribe to both the blog and the newsletter, or whichever is your preference. Alrighty. All right. Thanks for joining me today. It was fun sharing a fun fold card with you today, and a little bit of celebrating my 14th Stampin' Up! Anniversary. So thank you for the congratulations. I do appreciate that. And thank you for your support always. And I will be back Monday at 4 p.m. for another Facebook Live. Okay? Have a great weekend and happy stamping.